We're getting ready for this live stream, and I've got to set the phone up. Pastor is also getting some stuff ready. We are anticipating the arrival of a big storm that is to our west. That's already had tornado warnings coming along with that storm, and so we decided we were going to do a live stream while we were watching it, but we may have to just take off during part of this live stream because the weather is coming. It's coming in. So I've been hard at work. I got up, I had about 5 hours sleep, got up this morning, let my ducks out, just hit the deck running, paid bills, paid taxes, all kinds of stuff. Shalom, chasing life. How am I? I'm doing okay, chasing life. I'm a little tired. It's been a very long 12-hour day. I just pulled in 2 sheets off the line. It actually looks more like daylight out here, but it's getting close to 7 o'clock, I guess. Weather looks fine here. Shalom, says Wes S. Well, you're going to miss it. Thank goodness, Wes. Shalom, the lamp keeper, and am I prepper? Shield Maiden, hello, hey. Shalom.
Did you show them the sky?
I did. That's the opening picture for it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm just getting on Patreon telling them we're on.
Yeah, we didn't tell We Tree Bonsai again, so how are you? Northwest Arkansas prepper. Our good buddy, one of the Shofarians let us know this storm was coming hours ago, and they said it was like from 3 or 4 in the afternoon to 11. Who else is on there? The Music Well, shalom. Something else that happened today that we talked about and really haven't gotten into is the Tyson New York Times article on how they are having to close plants down, and they said our food supply is broken, like the supply chain is broken. Keith Kronk, shalom. Yeah, the storms are hammering Tulsa right now.
Okay.
What?
There. All right, I posted on there. Now I got to get a link. You're good. You can keep talking, everybody.
Well, I will, but I can't see the comments. See, you moved it. It needs to be a little closer. We're gonna look.
First world problems.
Our head is huge. Northwest Arkansas prepper, are you under a storm warning also?
NWA prepper? Yeah, he is. Come on.
Well, he's not. Whatever.
Yeah, he is.
So are you taking shelter, my brother? Hello, Brian, my hermit life, Minnesota. Did you check out the Sustainable Stewards channel? She's in Wisconsin. I'm sorry. She's in Wisconsin. Cassie of Narrow Gate. They are under a storm warning as well.
I hear the thunder. I hear the thunder.
You can hear it. Rick
rolling.
And Alyssa Stalling. Hello from Northwest Wisconsin. And there's John Ray. How do we pronounce your name again, John? Is it Ray? Shalom. How are you doing? You're very busy too. Oh, there's Okie Storm Chaser.
He said he was going to be chasing this storm after he ate supper.
That's right. We are expecting like ground reports right there.
Mm-hmm. He might not be able to do all of that and do what he does.
True.
All right, I'm almost ready.
Living room as a shelter. I only came home to top off the battery on my handheld, then I'm heading out. Okay. Greetings from the quarantine. I'll tell you what, I went on to YouTube and I just put in like quarantine funny songs or whatever. There are so many takeoff songs on like My Corona and Staying alive, staying alive.
I
It's
like the
just,
Black Rifle Coffee Company one, drinking whiskey like caffeine.
yeah, drinking
Quarantine, drinking whiskey like caffeine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really funny ones. Because we are still
Okay,
locked
where
in.
are you?
We're headed out the door now to Chase. Well, be careful.
Be careful, brother.
That's right. Be careful, brother. Wish I could watch, but I'm putting up plywood on the goat shelter in the bunny barn. Well, there you go. He's not taking any chances.
Tell him what you did to get ready. Remember when I said, what'd you do to get ready? All right, I am now
What did I do? I
tracking
put my ducks up in
comments.
their little house so they wouldn't, I mean, they probably would be fine just out and around, but I mean, that's my idea of protection for them. And then someone said John's hauling 3 calves home. Did you just buy them, John? Are they your calves? I got my goats. They were tied out. I put them in their foundation shelter back over there. Shalom, Mark, and Feral Believer. Just tuned in. First thing I see is you two singing and nodding your heads together. Writing your own quarantine songs, a few dances here and there. Not a pretty sight or sound, but we were having fun with it. Hello, Dan Ovo. Good evening from
Jeremiah
Texas.
said everything's starting to get that green.
Oh man, Westhold Forge, there he is. Yeah, when the sky's getting a green tint, that's not a good sign. Or if it looks like the bottom of somebody's foot, like toes, also not a good sign. Or if it gets super, super dark in an anvil shape, not a good sign.
I'm listening to a fairly local broadcast.
We are building our chicken coop today. The chicks are about ready to get out of the heat lamp area, I guess. That's pretty exciting.
Chasing Life's here.
I know, I saw. Chasing Life was one of the first people. We've got a dozen. Times like this, wish I didn't live on the top of the mountain. Yeah, there's a lot of wind and stuff that does that at tops of mountains.
We moved Jack to our driveway. He's right there.
Away from trees.
Because our roads are surrounded by trees, so
right.
We moved him down here.
Yep. I don't know what else. I've got to be right back. Excuse me. You take over for a minute.
All right. Flood. Kate Quake.
Yeah.
Arizona. You don't get a lot of rain, right? We're about to get some. This will be interesting to see how this live stream goes. Yeah. All right, I've got to take this out of my ear. I can't talk to you and listen to the
I already told
at
him
the same time.
We may be interrupted. We may be saying, "Oh well, the
well,
wind
what I
and the
think's
rain."
going to happen is it'll start raining and we'll go inside. We'll just keep the live stream going and
we
go
can
inside.
do the live stream
but
in
if
there.
it gets ugly, we may have to go to our alternate location, and so that will end the live stream.
Right, that will sign off. Mississippi. All right.
It's getting a heavy feel.
Yeah.
The sky's low.
Somebody just said something really interesting.
You see? Here, you
we bought 75 chicks for meat and.
Here, don't touch the screen.
Mine, it doesn't mess it up if you touch
Look, I'll let you guys look at the sky.
75 chicks for something and 25 for something else. Shalom, fiction and fitness. Greetings, everyone. Yeah, we've got a dozen ducklings that someone's incubating for us that are going to come out like around the 1st. So we will have these ducklings, and I've already been asking people who wants them, because we've got grown ducks. We don't need a bunch.
Do you know how big the hail's going to be?
No, but they did say some hail was falling.
I heard golf ball size. I certainly hope we don't get any of that. That would be bad for the solar system. Just saying.
Yes, it would. In Tulsa, they were getting pretty big hail. We voted not to have ducks again. Wes S., you're in a desert environment, though. It's probably not near as... Do you have ducks for meat or just eggs? Mine are just for eggs right now. Somebody said I love fried duck. Duck is supposed to taste good. I just am not.
I find duck a little greasy, to tell you the truth. You know, I went duck hunting. My boss took me duck hunting once, and it was duck weather. It was like 34, 35 degrees, windy and spitting rain. And we sat in a blind on the side of a river, Oxbow, And we slayed a bunch of ducks that day. I even shot one. And he sent me home with two. He gave me one of his, and so I would have two. And we cleaned them and cooked them, and I don't know, didn't really like them. I had a friend at work that used to shoot a lot of ducks, and he would make duck gumbo, and that was pretty good.
Duck curry would be good. Somebody said, oh man, now I can't think of the question. Is it unclean for them to wear the skin of a unclean animal or whatever? Like John wore the camel hair thing?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I don't want to talk about that stuff right now.
All right. Look it up in Leviticus.
Really big winds. Yeah, we're expecting big winds. That's why I moved Jack down. Yes, it's greasy but cooked well. It's like greasy burger. Mmm. So we got another
Go ahead.
bug out cabin put in today.
That's right. I have some video on it, but I haven't. I've been so busy today. I still need to edit the clips that I had and get it up. What is your take on the food shortages? How long before it gets bad? Be well. Well,
Soon, very soon, it's going to get bad.
yeah, the New York Times article from Tyson said they're already a quarter less producing than they were before. So they're at 75% of what is normal. And it's probably, they're going to have to continue to shut things down, shut their plants down because the workers are getting COVID. Because they claim, the Tyson workers, some of them claim that Tyson did nothing to protect them. They had no PPE and they had no masks and they couldn't keep distance apart, and so they just all started passing it around.
Somebody said, would it be a good idea to get Lexan screens for the? I think what would actually be better is plywood screens, right? Figure out a way that I can relatively quickly mount just plywood over top of the panels to protect them. But
Yeah, that would be
we're
a good
far
idea.
from that.
It's just hot in Arizona, they said. Yeah. That's the thing about Arizona.
So Westhold Forge says, what I hope happens with the meat shortage is that every small town ends up with a butcher and they butchered local grown animals. We were just talking about that today. I was saying that the butchers out there who mostly deal with deer, right? They have a big spike up during deer season. And then sometimes if you buy Farmer Bob's cow, man, they ought to be going into business. But then I was wondering, I bet you there's some kind of FDA rule that, let's say I raise cattle. And so I bring in a cow to be slaughtered or whatever, butchered, and then now I've got steaks and hamburger and all that stuff. I bet you the butcher can't sell it to other people. Can he or can he?
well,
You know,
the
he can
owner
slaughter
can.
it for me. I don't think so. I don't think you can sell meat to the public without some kind of FDA thing. And the way everything's set up
to
now,
the public. No,
Cattle Rancher Bob doesn't have that.
but cattle rancher Bob could say to you, like at church, "Hey man, you want half the cow? We're going to butcher
Yeah, but we're
one on
talking,
Sunday."
sweetie, trying to
Right,
get numbers, not.
Right, public sale. It's totally different. Yeah.
So, but yeah, black market beef, that could happen. My neighbor just sold a bunch of cattle and he was selling them, he sold them for $700 a head, which was really low, but he needed to do it. And that's bad for him. But I told him you should keep
Sheepdog
all the rest
Patriot.
of them. Keep the rest
Shalom.
of them.
Where is my
Rancher
dog
can
going?
sell you a beef.
There you
Yeah, he
go.
can sell me a beef, but I'm just saying I'm a rancher and I have, 300 head of cattle out there and the system's broken down. Can I start taking my cattle to local butchers and sell it to them and then they butcher it and sell it to other people? I'm not sure you can do that.
Chasing Life is very nervous about our solar panels in this storm.
Don't think bad thoughts. Think happy thoughts.
We're going to have to rely on the Heavenly Father to just take the storm
Amen.
north or south of us or whatever. Okay.
No, it's thundering.
Well, there was some lightning too. I don't know if you noticed that. Good morning from Chiang Rai, Thailand.
Chiang Rai, Kun Gordon, hi. We're expecting big storm here.
You should show him the sky because he was talking
Oh,
about.
Gordon knows what storms look like. He just went through one.
Right? That's our sky, Gordon. Yeah. He just had a big old thunderstorm too. It's already been. They've said that this storm has produced tornadoes already west of us.
Did they say that? I haven't been listening.
Yeah,
Here
they did. The butcher has to have a license, but yes, I used to work for the local butcher. We bought
Dr.
local
Leo,
beef
sorta.
all the time. I'm getting beef and chicken right across the road at the neighbor's farm. That's the way it ought to be done, because then you see what happens with that animal instead of it being in some huge corporate facility.
Half
Edgerton,
dollar size hail
we get it
coming
from,
down. That's
yeah, we buy it on the hoof as a group. Like I get a quarter, you would get a quarter, somebody else gets a half. We send it to the butcher and then we divide it. Quarter beef for my relative. That's half full day. And stay safe. Thank you. Forget illegal beef sales. Why not donate or barter? Well, exactly. I mean, the last thing I would do if I was a cattle rancher and I was told, we have no processing plant, I would definitely be trying to keep those cattle or do something productive with them, like barter them or something.
yeah. I don't know why a cattle rancher would. I watched a guy today with a cowboy hat. Looked like a rancher. Of course, could be all hat, no cattle, right? But he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. And he was talking about how the state of Tejas issued ranchers instructions saying, we're here to help you, and if it comes time to depopulate your herd, we'll be able to advise you how to do that. Why would you kill your cattle? That just strikes me as stupid. I would just let them get skinnier out there on the grass or whatever, but I wouldn't kill them. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Bad things are coming. You guys need to get food independent. You really do.
Yeah, that is the answer to
You need
all
to
of
raise
this.
your own veg, your own meat, all that stuff.
Right. Be ready to provide.
Gordon's doing that. He has cattle and veg.
That's right. He does. Someone said they're wanting to live off grid. What do they do?
Buy land, move a trailer on it, start living off grid. That's what we did.
Watch our videos. Watch videos on Viking Preparedness Channel and Sister Kate Chauffeur Mountain, because we have all kind of videos on the electricity and washing clothes and food, all sorts of stuff. There's Palmetto Paratrooper. Shalom,
Hey.
family. Our local cattlemen are selling to the public in Arizona. They usually sell at our farmers market, but since that's closed, they advertise on Facebook.
Tornado risk is gone right now. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, good.
That's cool.
Thank you, Father.
But rain, and now he says, now maybe I spoke too soon.
Oh, boy. Pig farms and chicken farms, I understand. Cattle, not so much. Killing the herd is never a good thing. Exactly my point. That's a lot of money.
I was talking to a guy today. Around here they have chicken houses everywhere, and they're killing chickens, just slaughtering them and not processing them. And people are like, oh, blah blah. You have to understand some things. The farmer owns a debt for the chicken houses and all the equipment that's there. But the actual chickens in the houses belong to like Tyson's or Simmons or something like that. And so it's their chickens. And they get to a point where I'm totally making these numbers up. I have no idea what the real numbers are, but we're spending $4,000 a day in feed for all these chickens. And there's no processing of them. And meat birds, they get to a certain size. We got to do them now, and they can't do it. So they're like, all right, we're not going to feed them anymore. We can't let them starve, and so we're going to kill all these chickens. It's not really up to the farmer to do anything, one. And two, even if the farmer went to, my neighbor probably has 50,000 chickens. And what's he going to do? Go into the little town near here, 2,000 people or something, and say, I got chickens. First of all, most of the people in that town wouldn't know what to do with a live bird. And second of all, even if every family bought 5, which is outrageous, it wouldn't even make a dent in his chickens.
Although there are bigger,
or the debt he owes on the buildings that he had built.
There are bigger cities around here with people who may know
They
how
wouldn't.
I'm just saying, if you just came across the border from Mexico, you might be more than happy to take 20 chickens.
But we're talking 50,000 chickens
Yeah, I
at
know.
one operation,
I
and
know.
it's an
All right,
operation,
Sister
operation,
Alicia,
operation.
do you think it's okay as women to have pants in our bug out bags? You should have whatever you are going to be most comfortable in there. And pants is a really good thing if you think you're going
You
to
should
have
watch
to be
my
bugging
teaching
out.
on Shofar Mountain Channel about shorts, head coverings, and blah, blah, blah. There's no biblical commandment for a woman to wear a skirt.
No, it's not. So it's kind of up to you. Dubis 71 on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being nothing burger and 10 being Tawaki. Where are you guys on COVID-19 and everything it brings with it, economics, war, etc.?
We're locked down. I think the economy's going to suffer
I think
bad.
number-wise, I'm probably about a 7, and he may be more because
8.5.
we aren't at war yet. So once war happens, then I'm like, okay, it's really getting real.
Pea-size hail. That's not bad.
Get everyone,
Quarter-size hail.
get everyone you know that's familiar to offer to process them for some of the chicken.
I think I could probably go to my neighbor and say, hey, you want to sell me a couple birds? I bet you he would. But here's the thing, we've got another brother who arranged for a chicken delivery that's going to happen soon of frozen wrapped chicken. So what do you think we're going for?
Yeah, right. Shalom, Teresa Jukowitz. Shalom, Star Living, Lone Star Living, and somebody else. Grandma Ginger's Farm. We just got a package.
We
right?
did.
Thank you so much, Grandma Ginger's Farm. At least
We just went to the post office today. So
one of the gingers is already in the ground. I had a little spot and I've already put it in there, but we thank you so much for the package.
we're going to plant, you asked me where we're going to plant Jerusalem artichokes. We're going to do it on the dam.
Okay. One place just of AR had to kill 60,000 birds because the processing plant that handled the eggs closed.
Tornado warning in one place expired.
Okay, that's cool. Just don't wear stuff that pertains to a man. That's West Old
Right.
Forge.
That's true.
One of the large farms here is taking the chickens to the farmer's market, right? Who are we going to go to war with?
China, Russia, Iran, Turkey. Turkey's in NATO. I know. They are now.
There's all the different things. I'm just saying, like, people in World War I and World War II probably had more reason to think, you know, terrible times were there because they had food rationing and people were getting shot and killed and blown up and houses were being destroyed and bombed and all that stuff. And we don't have that happening right now. That's why my number's not as high. Okay. So sad we are short of food, yet they're killing animals and wasting the meat.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Something just happened here.
Yeah, that's just a text.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, I think if you cross it out, it. Yeah,
There we
we're
are.
still here. I am picking up my Jerusalem artichokes on Thursday. Excellent. Russia will lay out and wait to pick at the bones.
they might.
Is what Wes S says. Okay. So what are you guys doing to get yourselves some food?
Yeah, what's your food plans
What's your food plans?
for the next year?
Do you have food already set up? Or you got your garden? You ordered a million MREs or what is that? Mountain House meals or something?
Mountain House is pretty good. It's just expensive.
Right? Did you spend a bunch of money? Storage and garden. Brains. Greetings from Illinois. Gardening and have chickens. Yeah.
Moving to the east at 40 miles an hour, so less than an hour it should be here.
Right? I have 40 laying hens. Excellent. Growing a garden, stocking them seeds. I'm trying to get things put away and finished for the night in the garden.
We're going to start planting our warm weather crops now. I don't think it's going to get close to freezing anymore. Like tonight, the low is going to be 60. And so beans are going in, peppers are going in, tomatoes are going in, all that stuff is going in.
Do you guys ever get rabbits? No. Well,
we haven't got them yet.
if we did, we wouldn't eat them.
We'd feed them to the dogs, though. That's what we want to do.
Yep. Sheep, goat, bees.
Oh, is Gordon, are you still here? If you are, what do you feed your dogs? Do you feed them rice?
Beth Hart's putting up a greenhouse. Northwest
this.
Arkansas Prepper says he's going to start canning. Smart. I didn't see Gordon have a reply or anything yet.
Right. Rabbit poo can go directly on the garden. Yes, it can.
And it's good. And
Power flickering south of Springfield.
dog rice and rabbit stew.
How do people without basements shelter from tornadoes? In a tornado shelter? I know, that's skirting the question. In a ditch?
Interior room.
Interior room?
Safe rooms.
Everybody should have a tornado shelter in tornado country. All right, here's Gordon. We feed them rice with chicken stock and sometimes blood. Good, because I've started putting aside rice just for my dogs.
This is my first tornado season.
Wow,
I
the
used
euro's
to be
trading
surprised.
at $1.08.
Wow, that's cool.
That's good for
Earthquakes.
us.
Cassie, my first tornado season was terrifying, and I found by going to like a class. I don't think it was a storm chaser class, but it was a tornado class of some kind that the
Storm spotter class.
storm spotter. That's right. That the city
You
had,
learned a lot in that one.
yeah, that the city had put on free. That helped me understand that I don't need to panic all the time. Like there's certain signs to be looking for
Like a
stuff.
tornado watch. No
Right.
need to get all crazy.
Right. You don't need to start worrying until you see certain things, and then you would start to get worried.
Storm shelters are about 4K.
Have you vlogged canning lessons for people to learn? I have not, Gordon, because I live off grid, and so for me to do a canning thing, it's a lot of time and trouble. Plus, when I'm doing something, I'm not videotaping myself.
It's hard to teach and do.
Right. And so I did a few, I think I did canning squash and maybe one other canning.
We
set
did a
of
little
videos.
video when we were making jam or jelly together one time.
Yeah, but I didn't do it step by step because it's a lot harder for me. But I will recommend that you get a Ball Blue Book or a Carla Emery, excuse me, Encyclopedia of Country Living or Stocking Up book, because even the
Hey, Sergeant James.
canner that you buy, the instructions on how to can will be in the canner's like how to use me book. All canners come with that too. So just get yourself like a reference or enter it. I mean, there's probably a million of those videos on YouTube.
People are already starting to go crazy. Somebody said, how long before people start going crazy?
They're already
They're already starting
to
to
go
go,
crazy.
and it's going to take one overreaction by one set of government, which will probably be in a Democrat state, quite frankly, to spin that thing up again. They're already making crazy laws based on this. I mean, like I saw something in Washington State, you can't go fishing on lockdown. Why? You're in a boat. Nobody gets close to each other when they're fishing. That's stupid.
Hummingbirds are jousting on my deck. They are mean. Yeah, they are. It is so weird how they like dive bomb each other and run into each other and chase each other off the food. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're also vicious.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh,
we're getting a little thunder in the background.
best thing with canning is to do it. Yep. That's the best thing with all this stuff. You know, somebody earlier said, what do I have to do to live off grid? Just do it. Just go do it.
Think about the things you're going to need. You're saying just do it, but like if you go on a camping trip for a weekend and you're having to bring your own shelter of some kind of tent, sleeping bag, and cook your own food and carry your own water, that's going to be off-grid life is that, plus it's every day. So, and again, watch our videos. We have lots and lots of videos on it, and there's lots of videos online about off-grid living.
Dry canned flour for the first time. I don't know what that means. You're already crazy. You can't find a canning jar around me. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of canning jars around here. We bought a lot.
Well, and there's more than one place to look too. Dollar General's got them. Dollar Tree has them. You know, all your regular stores. But yeah, they're getting in short supply because everybody's buying them up. When you're told,
And the
food's
thing
gonna
is,
be hard to
lids.
get,
If you can still get lids, you should buy lids. Not so much the rings, but the lids. They're going to end up being a really good barter item.
right? And Tatler lids are expensive, but they're reusable and will last a lot longer. And then
Yes, hardware stores do.
and then yeah, hardware stores too. And then think about getting wax too, because that's what
Somebody
people
just
used to
said that.
use.
Electric Soldier just said it when you said
Yeah,
it.
paraffin or wax. That's what people used in the really old days. And then pickling things. You're gonna have to start thinking of different ways to keep your food from going bad besides just canning, because lids and stuff will run out. But if you dehydrate it, then you don't have to worry about it.
View from the bushes. Cool.
Or if you salt it and smoke it, then it, you know, it's
Yeah,
another
salt
way.
it in a brine, right?
Right, and then smoke it, then it's another way to preserve
That's
the
how
food.
people used to make hams.
Right,
And corned beef.
Right, and fish, all sorts of things. Any luck on reusing
We've
regular
never tried.
lids? No, they are not guaranteed to seal correctly, and then you've wasted all that food.
Patrick wants to know if we plant a corn yet.
We planted some interesting corn. No, we planted corn down in the duck area.
In the orchard.
In the orchard, because we haven't been great corn growers. It requires a lot of nitrogen, and we just growing what we like to eat takes a lot of time. But this year I planted them down, planted some down in the duck area, and then I'm using the duck water to fertilize it. When people pass away, ask for their canning supplies. And look at yard sales too. A lot of people get them cheap at yard sales.
We have not done any freeze drying. We had friends who ran Valhalla, which was a big kind of permaculture type farm thing.
Yes.
And they bought a dehydrator.
Freeze
dryer, freeze dryer. And as I recall, it was a couple to a few $1,000s, right?
It was kind of, yeah, a lot of upfront money, and then she said it used a lot of electricity. So for off-grid, obviously then that doesn't work. Like your electric bill may go up because you're using that thing. Always enjoy, gotta run by Sugar Creek Homestead of Tennessee. Bless you.
It's getting heavy. I can feel it.
Well, and look at that cloud right there. That's
Yeah.
pretty serious cloud passing
What
over
happened there?
Janelle just texted, said thanks.
Here, I'll let y'all see the sky again. This would be more dramatic if we lived on a beach.
I think it's going to be dramatic when it finally shows up. Beach
Might
or
be.
no beach. We're going to have to duck under the porch, probably at least.
Yeah.
All right, what else? What do guineas taste like?
Pheasant.
Pheasant, Wes, very good. If you use a pheasant recipe, I think the last time we cooked them, I used an LL Bean cookbook, and it had a nice
NWA Prepper said it's starting to rain
recipe.
there.
Okay.
And you guys are east of us. That's weird.
That's what I'm saying. Of course, our location is just kind of interesting.
Sirens went off in Joplin.
Yeah.
Angry sky. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. That feeling in the air and the most electric evidence. You know something is. See?
You said it. It started going.
Lightning. Come on now. How many live streams have you seen where they had real, authentic lightning?
That's right.
As part of the background.
The things we do for you guys.
That's right. We planned this and it takes a lot of
We
effort.
could be like those weathermen. You know how the weathermen, they started this thing, man, back in the 90s, I think, where they would say, like, you can feel the snow and it's really cold, or the rain is lashing my face, and they would do all this stuff to make
Cue
it
the
feel more
thunder.
real. Cue the thunder. But then you see the guys where he's like wading through like waist deep water, and then, you know, it's really floody right here, and then somebody walks by right next to him and it's like knee deep and he's been squatting down in the water or something. It's like, come on, guys.
All right. The pandemic better not mess up yard sale season. I hate to say it, but it might. Check out at Walmart with a bunch of jars, and they say,
Matthew
what are
King's
those for?
baking bread. We might try and bake some bread tomorrow. It's going to be pretty cool here, like in the 60s. And so we may fire up our stove and bake some bread because we're out of bread, right?
Yeah, we're out of bread, and we can freeze some in our freezer for a little while. I have a buddy that got a freeze dryer, $4,000.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Think of all the meat.
Think
we
of all the
could
cars
buy.
we bought for $4,000.
That's right. I'd rather use that dehydrator that's in the background. You see it? That thing that looks like a slide? Right. I'm not getting my finger.
I get it. Right
There. Yeah, that's our solar dehydrator, and it works pretty good. Doesn't use any power that we have to pay for. 7:15 a.m. off to work at the farm. Have a great day.
Have fun, Gordon. Be careful.
Do you have wood ticks?
How many ticks did we pull off
How
you
many
yesterday?
bites do we have on us now? Personally, we each have about 20 to 30 bites. The thing we do about ticks, I mean, you can spray yourself from head to foot with DEET and permethrin and whatever you want. You still get them. And so I don't even bother spraying myself anymore. But we are very meticulous about like checking ourselves after that each day and getting them off so they're not on us long. And then if we treat the bite site with something like pine resin, then it doesn't get infected and we're okay. Our ticks are not made of wood. And we've got the ones with the white spot on the back too that apparently can carry a disease that makes you not be able to digest meat.
CMI prepper. Chicks and tiggers. That's right. I always say it that way.
Yep, chicks and tiggers. You see the guineas know we're doing a video too. They're
Right.
screaming their heads
Right.
off. Weren't doing that earlier, but they see us talking in front of a phone and they got to go off. I hate ticks. Not many here.
You know, I don't mind
Too hot.
ticks. I hate chiggers.
Yeah, chiggers
Oh.
are the worst. Ticks, we're pretty good about getting off.
Yeah, we've got our guineas locked up right now. They're not walking around eating stuff. Why do we have the guineas locked up?
Why? Why? Let me tell you why. Right back there in front of the solar dehydrator is several brassica plants. Cabbage, broccoli,
Cauliflower.
Brussels sprout. And those little guys were going out there in the morning before we got up, and they were eating the leaves. They're pretty smart, and so you don't eat my brassicas. No. You got to go back in the pen, and they're not happy, but too bad. I want my broccoli and Brussels and my cabbage.
Mm-hmm. It would be cool if a tornado went like right over there, so we could film it for the people, but not affect us.
Those. Yes, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Yes, Cassie, but they've got to be in you for a while.
Hi from the Upper Peninsula.
You're a
Youpers.
Youper.
Georgia's a Youper.
My Viking bread cooker makes pretty tasty bread.
My Viking bread cooker makes pretty tasty bread too. Oh, I felt rain.
Yeah.
Okra did not germinate. Bummer.
You need to get more okra because okra grows like weeds. And it's really, really good for you.
Have you tried row covers for the brassicas? We get too many bugs in them otherwise.
I haven't, and they do get a lot of bugs. What I have right now is spinosad spray. That is, it's kind of like a diatomaceous earth thing, but it's a live
Oh,
deal.
and a troll from up north Homesteader. Just under the bridge.
Oh, there you go. So I sprayed them, and I go out there and I pick the bugs off every day.
Dutch oven cornbread, yum. I agree. Just finished putting my row covers together. Huh.
Yeah, I think I'm just not very good with the row covers. Like the wind blows them off, and it's just.
You gonna tell the people you're venturing forth tomorrow?
I'm venturing forth to take a duck to the vet who has some sort of infection in its ankle area. It had the, what do you call that thing? Bumblefoot on the bottom.
I think we ought to have roasted duck.
But
That's what I think.
I healed the bumblefoot up by using a lot
Yes,
of
Beth,
salt.
we do.
And so I want to go in and see if maybe they'll give me some antibiotics for it.
Cassie's okra's not coming
Hi,
up
up
either.
north Homesteader. I'm southeast Homesteader. My okra is not coming up here. Well, give it a little while too, because okra likes the warm, and it's still a little cold. The ground's a little cold, so don't write it off quite yet.
Yeah, Mark's right. Roasted duck is cheaper, and we're getting a whole bunch of little ducklings here directly. I think we should eat that thing.
I want to see if we can heal her. I've been working on her for a whole month.
I think we're going to spend money and whatever.
Whatever.
Not going to curse it with my words.
That's right. You're not going to curse it. You're going to let your wife have her little
I am.
thing,
That is
because
exactly what I'm doing.
I don't have
gave
a
her
lot
the
of
ducks
them.
for her birthday, so.
That's right. And I don't say, oh, I've got to have new shoes and makeup and jewelry and all that other nonsense. So.
Well, thank you, Jess.
Soaked my duck legs in 3 days. Yeah, but see, soaking this.
How we came to tour is a really long discussion. I don't think we have a video on that. Maybe I'll shoot one for Shofar Mountain channel.
Epsom salt took 3 days and it got better. But see, one, I don't have a lot of Epsom salt here. Two, doing water and handling a duck and all that is not easy off grid because the duck's dirty.
NWA prepper.
See ya. And I have to catch the duck, and it's all the way down at the orchard, like a quarter-mile away, and then I can't keep it in the house, and she fusses when I'm playing with her. She doesn't want to stay in it, so it's kind of a pain in the rear end.
I think you got a good deal, Lives Outdoors.
So
we don't wear our rings.
We were married.
Wrong hand.
He gave
well,
me
if you're
a
German,
horse.
it's on this hand. I think that's a good deal.
I bargained for a horse once.
Did. That was a deal for me to go Special Forces.
I said, sure, you can go be a Green Beret if you get me a horse. And he did. Okay. Scrolling through, not finding anything, and getting nervous.
About what?
I don't
The
know.
yellow onions? Is that the one where the walking onions are getting yellow on the top? Who said it?
I don't know. It's right up top. There. Pressure of being worthy of my new ranch. I was scrolling through, not finding anything, and getting nervous.
Oh.
All right. You don't need. You're chasing life. You do not need to be nervous. Oh, everyone's saying roasted duck. Well, you guys come clean this duck and you cook it, and then we'll talk.
When we start having sermons, I just can't get motivated to give a sermon to an empty audience. And I've tried giving sermons before to the camera, and it just, it says wherever two or three are gathered together, there I am also. When we're not together, I don't feel like preaching. I mean, and I'm not going to fake it, so.
Go get special forces, but I want a pony.
Thank you. About the book, the editing still needs work, but the information is good, right? I mean, I think it is.
We got to go undercover.
All right, we're moving undercover. We'll bring you with us.
That's right.
You want to just go in the house?
Yeah, but do you
turn on the light? I'll bring the camera.
What about the chairs?
Yep, I'll do all the things.
So just go in and turn the light on.
Take a chair in yourself so you have somewhere to sit.
Okay.
And I'll come back out and get this one.
All right.
We're moving the show. You get to move with us. Check it out.
Here we go.
Make sure I don't drop anything. Doon, doon, doon. Here we go. Yeah, it's going to get dark here directly.
Too dark.
But we have a surprise. We haven't revealed it on your channel.
Oh. Okay.
Pastor Joe said, no, that's blasphemous.
That is blasphemous.
Do the thing, sweetie.
There we go.
Woohoo! Look at our messy house.
That's what I said.
All right.
Good thing we picked up.
Go ahead, have a seat, talk to the people.
I'm going to sit down and talk to you guys. These LED lights are something that I on the Instagram. His name is Marty Damnista. Somehow he was on the grams and sent me a request. Maybe I'm not that tech savvy, so you get requests and then you get suggestions, and he was one of them. And then he sent me a private message that said, "Hey, I've got these lights. They're really cool. They're not real expensive. They're on Amazon." He sent a link. He said, "I really recommend you try this deal." And I said, "All right." So, told PJ, ordered a set of them, and then we have them. They use very, very little electricity, and voila, there you go. This is one string, and I think it's 40 feet long, so it goes about halfway around the room, but it's plenty of light. Works just fine. Don't forget the door. So, I cannot see a single comment yet. Let me see. Where are the puppies? The grown dogs are right here. There's one right there, and there's like the other ones around somewhere.
They're both right there. They're in their beds.
Yeah,
I'm not going to show it because it's too messy.
Yeah, they're on their pillows. They hate storms, so they always come inside. Oh, there's Crazy Canuck. Shalom, Crazy Canuck.
What did I do with my glasses?
Bear and Sister Kate, both live at the same time. He's confused. Oh, because we never plan ours, Crazy Canuck. We just spontaneously
Big storm was
decide.
coming, and we're like, hey, let's play.
Right, and there's a big storm coming, and so Pastor's like, hey, let's do a live stream. And I said, okie dokie, because I don't mind doing live streams ever. And I thought also because of this Tyson food deal.
We were talking about doing one.
Yeah, it's a pretty relevant thing, just like the oil prices and all that.
No.
Right.
Okay. Nice sun oven. Yeah, that's a good sun oven. You've done a lot of videos on that. Nobody likes them.
What do you mean nobody likes them?
Your sun oven videos.
Oh yeah, I don't get hardly any views on my sun oven or my cooking videos, but it is a really good sun oven. I mean, it's a really good solar oven, and it works great. I've cooked cookies in there and baked chicken and all sorts of stuff. I'm loving the most recent PJF Patreon videos.
Well, thank you. Some people plan them out better than me. I never do. Sister Kate will tell you, I always think what I'm going to talk about that morning. Today it took forever to load, though. My goodness.
Lives outdoors. I love my sun oven. Use it all the time. Yeah, they're very convenient. And my sister-in-law, she lives in Texas. She got one a long time ago because I guess cooking in her house was
Yeah,
just
they
really
do,
hot.
Westhold.
So,
They're amazing, actually, right? Remember all the times we played with the
do you
flashlight
guys
in here?
utilize greenhouses?
Not yet.
We have the frame set up for one. We need to do a little construction on it this summer, but we've got so much going on. It's not the top priority. Just getting stuff in the ground right now is, and then we'll get the framework, the door ends of it built.
Rain's here.
Yes. I use my sun oven to hold down the piano. It works great.
Wes.
Yes, very effective doorstop. They are so much safer than like a gas oven. Also, a sun oven is really convenient if you're in a hot place, and we live off grid, so we don't have, like a whole central air conditioning here. The solar won't support that, and so instead of cooking inside and heating up the whole place, I cook outside in the summertime because it's a lot cooler. Okay. Tell them more about the lights. I gave you as much relevant information there. LED lights, it's a 40-foot long deal, and it's on Amazon. If you put it in their search, they should
You can
come
see
up.
them in the reflection of the glass behind us.
Yeah. In the same boat, planting like crazy, and the greenhouse parts are still under plastic, but we got the foundations done. Okay. I use my sun oven all the time. Grandkids love it. Best of all, it's hard to burn anything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can use it in the winter, too.
Yes. The piano makes a great shelf. I love to cook on
See
the
ya,
sun oven in the
Dubis.
summer.
Doobie.
Yeah.
Dubis.
You have to be careful. You will burn the food. Well, you live in a place where you've got a lot more sun and it's a lot hotter, Wes. But yeah, our big wood stove's going to be a storage shelf in the summertime. There's no way we'd be able to cook with that. It'd be way too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Making greenhouse out of an old carport. I'll try to send pictures. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Bear's hinting about a mission.
You'll just have to talk to Bear about that.
Very interested. Yeah, he's got
We're not talking about it.
He's got
Bear's got
control of it. Right,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. We can even make bread in ours. Well, yeah, I've made bread in mine too.
It's an oven. D-neck.
Shalom. Ah, there's the rain.
There's the rain. I was hoping it would rain while the sun was still up, so like we could at least be on the porch and show people the. But it just sounds like normal rain to me. I guess if it gets horrible, we'll take the light, go out there, and we'll film all the horribleness coming down.
Take what light?
The light we usually use, the flashlight.
Oh, the flashlight? Yeah.
You like that? That's from the Father. That's from the Son.
Yeah.
We were just talking about our light. We got a rope light.
Hey,
that we
I was
just
impressed.
hung
I
up.
used daylight to make a biscuit. Well, yeah, right. I remember when I made a blueberry muffin mix in the whole like pan that came with it, and I was super excited about that. Waiting for my.
You know what that shows?
What?
We
How
watched
old we
way
are?
too much TV
How old
in
we
our
are?
earlier life.
Yes, sound effects. That's one of the reasons I love your sermons. Absolutely.
All right. Well, one of us should talk. Do a monologue. You're
I
on.
was
Here's
talking
your
about
mic.
the Tyson food thing and why it was such a big deal.
Oh yeah, no
because
one told us what they're going to do about food, did they? That's
They
kinda
did.
troubling.
Some people did. Some people said Northwest Arkansas Prepper said he was going to learn to can. Some
Jess,
people
we
said
don't even-
storage, gardens, chickens.
COVID.
Are you guys seeing any shortages in your local stores? Like when you go in there, do you
We haven't
have
seen a local store.
meat and veg and all that? The last time we needed groceries like that, our local store, you could order online and they just loaded it into the car. You could
Yeah, a
pull
nice
up,
lady brought it out, put it in the back of our car. We were all masked and gloved up, and
and that was it. But I could not go in the same day that I ordered it. It was like already 3 days down the road before I could actually go pick it up. Meat and butter. Yeast does not exist.
Brenda said, "Are we experiencing many stores closing?" There's a lot of stores closed,
Right.
not open. So I don't know if they're like closed, like failing closed, because how would you know?
Right. We don't live near a big city,
And
so
we
we
also
wouldn't
don't
see
really
it
go to stores.
a lot
Right.
anymore. I used to go out pretty
Springfield
regular.
is slim pickings, just flour around my area. There was no flour around here right
Right.
before we went on lockdown. You couldn't get it.
Could not. Just ordered 200 pounds of something. More talk
Beef.
of shortages. Yeast is gone for weeks in Virginia. So Amalaya, you can capture yeast yourself. You can leave out water with sugar in it, or you can leave out flour with water in it, and it will catch the yeast that's floating around in the air.
West Told Forge has really heavy rain coming down right now, so it should be here eventually.
Cue the thunder.
Cue the thunder.
Yeah. Yeast and TP.
Do you know if the power goes out in this region? We won't know. I had a friend, a neighbor, who keeps us updated when there's bad weather coming in, because he has a TV on 24/7 and he watches it. When there's bad weather, he texts me and says, "Hey Joe, bad weather's coming in, blah blah blah." And he wrote me a text one time during a stormy day, and it was like all the fake curse words, you know, all the characters and everything, wrestle, 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 wrestle. He goes, "My power went out 8 times today." And I said, "Oh really? I didn't notice." It's terrible, but it's true. We
It's
won't
very
know.
true.
Our power's not going to go
Yep.
up.
Someone just made sourdough bread. Someone else sent me sourdough bread starter powder.
No shortages in northwestern Washington. That's interesting. That's good. That surprises me.
Yeah, that's really good. So she sent me a starter to make the sourdough bread, but right before unleavened bread, the feast, I was starting a sourdough starter and
We had
then
to get rid of
realized
it. Oops.
can't have it during unleavened bread, so I'm gonna have to start again. But it only takes like, I think, 3 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of water.
That's Townsend's Jesus, I bet. Maybe not, but
Yes,
probably
the
Townsend's.
Townsends, James Townsend and Son is that channel, and or make beer bread exactly. But sourdough is
William.
not hard, and there's lots of instructions online on how to make sourdough, and you're basically capturing yeast, and it's making the bread rise or whatever.
Because why are people buying? Somebody said, I can't believe they're still buying toilet paper and paper towels, and in the
Right.
numbers that people are doing it. Because people are sheeple. They really are, and they just follow the herd that's stampeding. It's like we haven't had a TV for years, but there used to be like every year at Christmas there'd be that one toy that people would like basically kill each other over to get,
The
like Tickle Me
Furbies
Elmo
and
and
the-
Furbies and
yeah,
and
Tickle Me
everybody
Elmos.
needed it. Why? Because everybody was getting it. Why? Because everybody else is getting it. It's just people are so dumb.
Or those shoes. Air Jordans came out, and there was like people fighting and stuff over it. The mushroom ketchup one was interesting. I watched that one too, and I made a some sort of raisin bread thing in a pot from some recipe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I thought it tasted pretty darn good.
I thought it was pretty good too. It's like a bread pudding kind of
yeah,
thing.
a bread pudding kind of thing. Just kinda,
Okay, now it's raining in Westhold.
Yeah, it's raining big time. Solar keeps me going. That's right. Have you seen the same storefront? About 3 this morning.
Cabbage Patch dolls, right? What ugly little dolls.
Townsend's have a great. They do.
Sister Renee, Forest Help Meet, hello.
Hello. Used the Sears catalog. Said the pages with the fur coats was much softer. And he said stores.
TP alcohol rub and cleaner here in Florida.
There are the what'd you say?
Hey, Biddy
alcohol
Boo.
rub.
There's the rain.
There's
right.
Biddy Boo. Shalom. You can make your own hand sanitizer if you have.
What's up, Sook? Sook's getting a little concerned.
Yeah.
It's okay, baby.
If you have aloe vera and what's the other part of the hand sanitizer? Rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. No beans. Teresa
okay. Go lay down.
Duplicate
Go on.
says, no beans.
Don't read that.
I'm not going to.
That's good information. Thank you.
Beans and rice still flying off the shelves. That's from Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey told everyone save money by eating beans and rice.
The dog's trying to
She's
crawl under. Get.
Under
the
our
tripod.
chair. Yeah, she don't like the storms. Right.
$1.20 is. Do you consider that good, Patriot Man? That gas is $1.20? Because around here, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying it's 99 cents. We consider that good.
Costco's going to require face masks on May 4th, probably to go shopping, right?
Probably,
Only Dollar General has small bags of beans and rice. We have a shortage of wine and beer. Oh my gosh, we had neighbors we were talking to when the first shortages, when people were
What
buying
happened,
all the
Biddy
TP, happened, and then we said, we're gonna start planting our garden and everything, and they said, well, we went and stocked up on beer. We got lots of beer in the house.
Oh, our neighbors.
Yeah, and we were both like, okay, that sounds great. Thinking, what are they gonna do when that runs out? And what about food? Don't they want any food? I don't know.
Well, beer is liquid bread. If you buy real beer, they probably drink Natty Light.
Even so, I mean, you can only, unless you make the beer yourself, you're gonna run out.
German beer is really, really good. Like in Germany.
I have a beer fridge next. IGA in North Georgia, well stocked for now. Imperial Stout. I have not seen less than 99-cent gas since
What did
the
you used to
70s.
drink when you were in England?
Bitters.
Or lime and lager?
Lime and lager and bitters. Something went in front of my camera and you could see through it.
So George says that Fleischmann Yeast Company can't keep up with the demand and they've done extra shifts and stuff. And to me, that gives me hope for America. That means people are buying yeast to make bread. That's a good thing.
Well, and it's also, this past one I miss beer more.
I haven't had a beer in probably a year.
Yeah, it's true. Drink some bread.
We say pork
Sale
chop
of
in every
wine is
beer.
up.
Yeah.
Well, but that was one of those things I think even Trump said that like beer stores, liquor stores are essential, and people are going to be stressed out.
Well, remember when they started closing things, and I said, "What are they going to do about alcoholics when there's no booze?" I mean, because some alcoholics they're not right if they can't drink.
Right? Oh my goodness! Yes, it was weird.
She just keeps throwing little hints like that, but she hasn't said what it was. So.
Well, what is it? Biddy boo? Rain? Rain went in front or what? Of your boot works pretty good for ticks and chiggers. Sprinkle coal oil on your clothes. I've also heard pour diatomaceous earth on your shoe or your socks to keep the chiggers out. All right. Beer can be a religion. No. Nope. Alcohol is a good trade item. Yes.
We put up a lot of little bottles of alcohol to trade when the world goes crazy.
And you've seen my videos, I make wine, so I make more than I need and be willing to barter it and stuff in front of me, and you could see through it. Ooh, that's weird.
You need to cast that out.
Yeah, you do. Need some vodka for tincture making, no joke, that's right. If you can't get vodka, then you use vinegar. You can do tinctures with vinegar. And you can make your own vinegar if you can get a hold of apples or other sweet alcoholic drinks. If you have a sweet wine and you just let it sit on your counter, it will turn into vinegar after a while. Traded some really good stuff for people who had to have a drink. Yep.
I'll take that peacemaker you're toting.
I've had a lot of ETOH withdrawal from the hospital. Wife made sanitizing machine vodka. You can do that too. Oh yeah, the wind is whipping.
Cooled down too. I was getting hot.
Uh-oh. We may have to duck.
Oh, you're fine until you start hearing lots of hail soon.
I think I hear hail.
No, it hits our chimneys and goes ting 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 ting.
I don't know.
We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine.
I'm nervous. It's scary. Okay.
I'm trying to get the radio station I was listening to quit talking about it.
In regards to Biddy Boo's issue, do you think got my second favorite knife in trade for a Jack and a Coke.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That would work for me. All stores have sandwich boards outside. Masks are required to enter. Text from town today that masks must be worn all the time. I believe that. Let us know if you see any yellow brick roads or ruby shoes.
I don't know if we'll still be transmitting if that happens.
Yes.
It might be out of.
Right. The live stream would be over if we saw that happen, Wes S. There's a hot spot in the storm. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I can't get any news.
Like I said, I'm getting. Okay. Would love to hear both of your stories about coming to your spiritual paths.
That's a different video, though.
Pastor says that's a different video, though.
All right, I'm just turning this one off. I can't find anything.
I don't drink, but I keep
Wes
a lot
S.
of
will
booze
let us
on
know.
hand for barter. Yep, it's going to be a good barter item, especially because you can use it as a disinfectant. It's a story as old as time. Woman, I'm scared.
See ya,
Man,
Shield
we're
Maiden.
fine. Whatever happens, don't let that blonde lady put those shoes on you.
We don't talk about things like that. We just get news from wherever we can.
I do love the sound of rain on the roof.
Yeah, we do too. It's really nice.
It's very
Man,
calming.
in our community center longhouse, before we
It would be
insulated,
too.
it was just a metal building with no insulation for a while. And when it rained just kind of normally, you can even hear
Yeah,
to
it
talk
got
in there.
too loud. It was
And even
just
now
really, really
with
loud.
the insulation in there, when it rains hard, it's pretty loud.
It's pretty loud. Excuse me. Was wondering if I could bring you news.
Sure, you can bring us news from anywhere. We are news hounds. Patriot One. I think I did. We went to the post office today, and what we do is we
Sounds good,
put everything
Lampkeeper.
in a bag, and then we leave it in our car for a couple days, so we don't have to touch what somebody else touched. But I saw a box that and we don't like study it. Yeah, I think we did. So thank you again, but I'll thank you appropriately when I open the box.
Making liquor is hard. Yes, it is. Is a pain, but wine is easy. Yeah, wine. The wine I've been making is super easy. I won't say it's the best wine
What do
in
you
the
know
world.
about making wine?
We've had more than one tornado bounce over our house. We live on top of a hill.
Thank you.
Do we have any apocalypse?
Thank you for that news. If you hear anything else, please text me again. I appreciate that.
Apocalypse musical instruments. Well, actually, we do. We have a guitar and a mandolin.
Where's my
And
shofar?
I don't know. He has a shofar, and I have a keyboard. But the keyboard will not work after we run out of batteries for it. So actually, it'd be really cool to have a piano.
This is the apocalyptic instrument.
Y'all stay safe
Right
and
here.
enjoy
Here you go.
the storm.
Just hold that. Don't touch it though.
How do you keep a beat with a shofar? You don't.
Okay.
We do
okay.
have a chorus, though. When he plays it, they sing along.
They do.
Medicinal
It sounds
plants.
apocalyptic outside when you do it, and it echoes through the mountains.
Did you try making pickled eggs and beets
We have
yet?
not.
We have not. It sounds like a great idea, but we have not done it yet.
Oh, I wanted to do this. You can keep a beat with the shofar, though. I do it sometimes when you're playing.
Okay, hang on.
See? You just go like this. You can tap it, and it makes noise.
George Williams has a shofar too. Are you practicing with it? Have you mastered it?
I'm doing it low.
The
Sorry.
guitar is a community guitar. So brother Cody is learning guitar right now, but it's been a while since anybody has played that particular one.
Welcome, Cicero, to the Joe and Kate Show.
The
It's
variety,
a variety hour.
That's right. My son is amazing with his shofar, too funny. I love when the dogs blow their shofar, too. The neighbor called asking if I heard an animal out there when he blew it. I used to tell him when he was practicing, it sounds like somebody rocking the rocking chair hit the cat's tail. So I made
took a
him
while to
practice
learn how.
outside. Can play drums with you. Need a time sig though. What's a time sig?
I don't know. I know what a SIG 220 is.
I keep time when I play music when we're doing hymns and stuff. I just keep it with the piano, but I know that it's a lot better if you have a guitar and a drums. What's a Bible story if you fellows around the... I didn't hear that.
I had a brother just text me. I told him a storm was coming. He said, yeah, unfortunately, he's in a camper for 2 weeks because he had a potential exposure at work today. So that's too bad.
Oh, do you remember the lumens on your headlamp?
No, but they remember me. I don't know, sorry.
I know it's probably a 3.6 volt battery, but I don't know. Can't wait till we fellowship together. That would be cool. Yeah, I like fellowshipping. Somebody said something about, oh yeah, blowing the shofar, marching
And
around.
the walls come tumbling down.
Exactly.
Walk
yeah.
around it 7 times, right?
That's right. Blow 7 times. And
Sparkmaker Actual. Sparkmaker Actual, this is Shofar 6, over.
I have magnets that I painted of little pictures of that event.
Ooh, what was that sound? Did you hear that?
Yep. A friend got a shofar and couldn't sound it. He said you had to be chosen to make it work. I picked it up and blew a long, steady note. His jaw fell and he put it up.
It took me a while to learn. I mean, like 3 days to learn how to blow it. I sounded like a dying chicken at first.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, and you don't have to be chosen to be able to play it. You just have to try it.
We had how many did he blow at once?
We had a friend who could blow 3 at one
once,
time.
simultaneously.
He had the big one and then a straight little one out one side of his mouth and one of the little curved ones out the other side. And he blew all 3 at once. See? Yes, she does, and my grandkids love those magnets.
Yes, I need to advertise them for you on.
That's so sweet. Thank you for saying that, Grandma Ginger's farm. I'm glad they like them.
I like Palmetto Paratrooper. If you're chosen, you'll keep trying until you get it.
That's right.
We have a couple new cabins now, and more on the way.
Yeah, I have some video of the one that came today, and I'll upload that on my channel, but I've got to edit it together yet.
Band class paid off in my adult life.
Don't do that, PJ. Reminds me of running behind the LT saying, "Sir, the 6 wants to talk to you."
First sergeant.
Band class paid off in my adult life. That's right. Musical instruments add to life. They really do. I mean, it makes you smarter to learn how to play it. It calms you when you are playing it. You can entertain other people.
Excellent, Sister Renee. Very good. She's looking at land this weekend.
Excellent. Wonderful. I hope it works out. Give this thumbs up.
You know, I don't understand. I really don't. The people on videos, because I watch the videos I watch, but then sometimes I do what y'all do and I follow the rabbit trail of all the videos on the side. And you know, people are like 30 seconds into their video and they say, hey, if you would, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, or mash the thumbs up button because that sounds cool, and subscribe. And I'm thinking, I don't even know if I like you yet. Why are you telling me to subscribe? That's stupid. And I'm not going to stop the video to do that. If I like somebody, I usually go watch 2 or 3 more of their videos, and then if I like them, I subscribe. I mean, but I never tell people to like or subscribe anymore. I did in the beginning because I didn't know any better. But doesn't that seem a bit silly to say that? Wouldn't you subscribe anyway if you were going to subscribe? Maybe I'm wrong.
I
need
did
to start
not.
saying it.
She said there was a comment about giving me an upright piano.
We don't have anywhere to put an upright piano right now. After we get the new longhouse, maybe.
Yeah, after we get the new longhouse, maybe, because it would help having something that I can play. That
I
didn't
did
need
miss you,
electricity.
NWA Prepper. I
Yes,
actually
we
did.
missed you,
How are you doing? Safe, I guess. Everything's good.
Vincent Xavier.
No. Don't even.
No.
Oh, is that New Wine Ministries?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Isn't that New Wine Ministries?
If it's New Wine Ministries, I wrote them emails twice over the space of a year and never got anything back, and I was kind of irritated by that.
They have some similar beliefs that we do, but we not made any contact. Oh, Furby Wax, you can have it. Is that the piano?
Yeah, I liked what he had to say. I was listening to him and on the radio traveling around or something, I don't know what. And I thought, wow, he's doing a lot of similar things to what we're doing. I'm going to reach out to the guy. And I reached out and I said, hey, we have similar beliefs. And I listed some from whatever I'd heard him talking about. And I said, I'm a pastor of a small assembly out here. I'd love to get together with you for a cup of coffee or whatever. Let me know. Crickets. Did that twice.
Yeah.
On the email that he said, if you have something, send us an email. And so I kind of started thinking, what's this guy about?
Okay, so no Furby person. We're going to put up a new building, a new meeting building. And when that's up, then we can get. So give us a couple of months. Just give us a couple of months to get that squared away.
I just watched Waco the other night. I was very skeptical when I watched it, and I thought they did a decent treatment of the subject. I have no idea what the deal is with Straightway.
Yeah.
Haven't talked to them for over
while.
a year.
Yeah. They kind of broke contact.
Yeah, I thought the Waco show was pretty good. I watched the whole thing. I binge watched the whole thing straight through. Storms are coming. We say that a lot to each other. Have you guys
There's
seen
a storm coming.
the Terminator? Last couple lines of
First
the movie,
Terminator.
she's getting gas, and they say something to each other. To a Hispanic kid and his dad running the gas station, and she says, "What did he say?" or "What did you say?" or whatever. He goes, "He said there's a storm coming," and she looks at him and says, "I know." Great line.
Good to see you all.
Arkla, Texlahoma. Tony and Melissa, shalom.
Shalom. How's it over at your place? Tonight, Coastal 151.
See you, Coastal 151.
Loud. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Had to put up a trail cam, signs of two-legged unwanted. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Trail cam, good for that. I didn't watch Waco except live on TV in the 90s. We did too. I always felt the Branch Davidians got a bad rap. They sure
so
did. And that was good old Janet
See you,
Reno.
Sheepdog Patriot.
She was a horrible,
She's
evil
dead now, though,
woman.
right?
I think she did die.
She got shot in that one book we read. Remember that book?
No.
Unintended Consequences?
Oh, did she? Okay.
Early in the book.
Yeah, no, she was evil. Lots of bad things happened under her. What a horrible woman.
Yeah, Ruby Ridge.
Ruby Ridge. Ugh. Ever thought about getting your private pilot's license? No, neither one of us is very motivated. I don't even like being in a plane. Hey, C-103. Shalom.
A moderator, you can show that. I don't care. YouTube has blocked me for some reason.
She passed on November 7th, 2016. And
Good.
good riddance. If you've got a squatch, you won't get a pick.
Not a bit. They know that stuff, man. I think they can see it or something. I've heard that flying a helicopter is a lot more difficult than flying an airplane, and they're a lot more expensive for a private one. Where's C-103? I guess he showed
came
up.
in there.
Hey, C-103.
Just put somebody to bed. He was up for a while. Good family time, but time to rest and heal.
Amen. There he is. It's a great picture. I need a hat like that, C-103, in your picture. Is that felt?
I come and it's loud on the porch. Yeah, it's loud out there. All the Sasquatches are near Shofar Mountain.
Never seen one, but I had an experience.
If they are, that's going to make the
But that was in
Ridgebacks
Washington,
so
not here.
happy. The
Oh, yeah.
Ridgebacks
Oh,
would
yeah.
love it. They would
Oh.
be out there barking at them all the time and chasing them around.
They'll tree the Sasquatch.
I mean, they have fun just chasing the ATV. So a real live Sasquatch? Oh my God, yes. Let's hear the Bigfoot story. Oh, nice
No,
lead-in,
no,
honey.
it's too
Come
long.
on.
It's too long of a story.
You've done it on a Viking.
Yeah, I did it on Patreon.
Oh, okay. He did it on Patreon.
It's a long story.
It is a long story. We call him Ingaroo in Louisiana.
Tree the Squatch.
Great story.
See, he remembers. You don't want to be that old guy that always repeats all the stories
You
like
are
I
that
do.
old guy.
I know. I do that a lot. I can't remember who I told.
I was there for the Cat Lake one though, so I can be a witness to say that that really did happen. Cat Lake is a spooky, spooky place. Helicopters are much more expensive per hour, and they shake like the dickens.
You were in that Erector set one,
I
like
was
the one
in
on
one,
MASH.
what do you call it, a privately owned one. We paid for me to go up with my son in one, and I was terrified. That helicopter was shaking and rattling, and I was just sure it was going to fall apart while we were flying around.
You guys want to hear a funny helicopter military story? If you do, give me a couple yeses and I'll tell that
There's
story.
supposedly a lizard man around a town 40 minutes east of here that eats cats.
Okay, that's enough yeses. I'll tell you. So, I was in Special Forces, and
Haven't tried yet, John Knapp. Go ahead, sweetie.
we were in South Korea, and I had a detachment living on the beach with some South Koreans. We were doing some airborne operations into the ocean, and they were supporting it.
I'm going to get my drink.
And it sounds great living on the beach. It was horrible. It was really hard on them. I'm being serious. It was terrible where they were. And I got word and this was back in the 90s. Telephone communication there was horrible, just horrible. And I got word that we were having a 3-day weekend. Everybody was standing down. And I got permission to go get my guys off of that terrible beach and bring them back up to Seoul, where we were hanging out and they could relax and take a shower and, relax a little bit. And so I went across to an airfield. I convinced the helicopter pilot to fly me down there. And there were no seats. It was a Black Hawk. There were no seats in the back of it. And he goes, "Are you okay flying with no seats?" And I made a joke. I said, "You have seats in Black Hawks?" Because we never flew with seats. And so we fly down there, and he's having fun. And every time he saw a little hill, he'd like fly really low and then up over the hill and down over the hill. And then he'd see something over there, and he'd fly over there and fly. Because he was just giving me a taxi ride, but he wanted to make it fun. And so we get to the beach, and I told my team sergeant, keep calling ahead and get on the radio, which wasn't as easy as it sounds, and let them know we're coming, so that because we don't have much time. We're going to land. I got to get on the helicopter, and we got to come back. And so we get out there to the beach. We land. My boss was there, and he comes running out with this young soldier who I didn't even know who he was. And he handed me a note and said, "Go." And I'm like, "I'm here for my guys." He said they already left. They got the word, got their own transportation, and we're headed out. And so we take off, and I've got the headset on, and there's 2 pilots up front and a crew chief. And a Black Hawk helicopter can lift straight up, like poop, like they can pop up they have a lot of power. And so we're sitting there, and this kid's sitting on the floor, and I didn't know who he was. He wasn't one of my guys, but I assumed he was another Special Forces guy or something that was just along for the ride. And you want to hold that? And we take off, and this kid's eyes got like this big, and there were 2 seatbelt straps without the rest of the seatbelt on them, just hanging down. And he grabbed them and white knuckled them, and he's looking horrified. The doors are open. I'm sitting in the door back like this with my headset on, looking out. Cool air's coming in, and I was having a good time. And the crew chief looks at the guy, female crew chief, and she like looks at him, and she's on the thing on the headset. She's talking to the pilot because he's doing that jerk around flying stuff again. And she goes, "Hey, you're scaring the hell out of this guy back here." Well, the pilot, like me, thought this was a Special Forces guy, and now I've already figured out by looking at him he's not. And he goes, and that kid didn't have a headset on. And the pilot says, "Hey, I thought you said USF guys were okay riding on the floor." I said, "I'm fine." This kid's a little scared, but I'm fine. Let's go. And so he rode it like a roller coaster all the way home. And when this kid was there, he was some kind of clerk typist, and he had to get back for some emergency that he had at home. So we were flying him to the airport. And when we landed, he's shaking. And he gets off the helicopter, and I said, "That's a pretty good ride, wasn't it?" Because, I mean, this guy was just flying down river valleys and everything. And he goes, "I've never been on a helicopter before, sir." I'm like, "Well, you had a good first ride." That kid was terrified. But
Jill, that
he's
is a
probably
good thing.
telling that story.
That is a good thing.
USF guys is crazy.
Hello, E.E. Healy.
From the Adirondacks.
2 men mushroom hunting on her property, but she was armed. So good. Yeah. Nap of the earth.
Oh, yeah, that pilot had a good time.
My helicopter ride was a little different. I was on a medical helicopter.
Good night, Mark.
I was laying down and I was sleepy. And the 2 nurses...
Because you had a brain tumor.
Because I had a brain tumor, and the 2 nurses were dudes. And
I forgot that. You've had 2 helicopter rides.
That's right. And they talk like cowboys, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, "You guys need to do anything? Like, I'm here." They're like, "Well, how about if we check your IV, maybe replace it? How long's it been in there?" I said, an hour. And they're like, "Okay, we'll do that thing." So they did that, flying in a helicopter, took my IV out and put it back up, did a really nice job, and then I kind of fell asleep. So it was a boring ride for them, but it was pretty of what I could see because I was laying down, flying at night. Then landed and into the hospital. So that was my other helicopter ride.
Palmetto paratrooper. That's good. Is the $50 prosperity phone call just TJ or TJ? It's just TJ.
Yeah.
I don't like talking on the phone. I'm an INTJ. You can look it up.
Plus, who has time? He has time. How did you find out you had a tumor? Good question. Okay, so.
Story time with Sister Kate.
But it won't be a huge, long story.
Once upon a time in a land far, far away.
The first symptom that I had, and I went into a doctor, and he had me do a bunch of different things and said, "No, you're fine, you're just dehydrated," was I was kind of dizzy when I was leaning over and moving. And he had me, touch my nose and all this other stuff, and he said, "No, you're okay." Then,
Drunk.
Absolutely not.
This woman's not drunk as you may suspect. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning.
10 years fast forward, we're now here on the mountain, and we're in our 50s now. And so the first thing that was happening to me was I was stumbling, and I stepped off our porch and just fell. And I'm laying on the ground looking up thinking, okay, how did that just happen? Because I was taking a step and there was nothing in the way.
Shalom, Bear. Thank you.
Hey, Bear. And my ankle gave way, I thought. And my husband's looking at me like, "What's the matter with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I did that more than once. I just fell. And it didn't make any sense to me, but I thought, okay, but I'm getting older. Maybe my balance is off. And it was, but not in the way that I thought. And then the next thing, and the more serious thing, was I would be holding a drink, not unlike this one, and talking or doing or whatever, and I would drop it. And it would hit the floor, and my husband would be like, "What are you doing? You need to hold that cup tighter. You're not holding your drinks." And that happened a couple times. And my son was like, "Mom, maybe there's a spirit that's trying to make you embarrassed and making you drop this in front of people." And then the thing that, straw that broke the camel's back was there was a day, I think it was maybe a Sunday, he and his friends...
It was a Sunday because we were moving that family from that city out here.
Right, moving a family, and then the gentlemen were going to go to like this set of...
brew pub, where they made all local beers and everything.
Businesses, a brew pub and like a cigar place, and they were going to sit there and just talk and drink, and I was
Smoke our pipes.
I was going to be around the corner at a little tea shop, and whenever they were done, I was going to give them all a ride home. And so Pastor and I, the day before that...
No, it was that morning.
That morning.
We took a walk.
We take a walk. And, we take a walk all the time. And I told him, I'm not feeling great. I'm going to bring my walking stick. And then I started getting dizzy. And I said, we're going to have to cut this thing short. I don't feel good. So then I came back here and I started to get vertigo where the room starts spinning, right? And whenever I stood up, I threw up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a stomach flu or an ear infection or something going on. So I would drink water to stay hydrated. But then when I had to get up and go to the bathroom, I would throw the water up. And we did that for about a day. And he gave me some like anti-nausea
In the morning,
medicine.
I remembered we had anti-nausea medicine, so I gave you some.
Right, and it all seemed to be working okay until I stood up, and then the whole thing would start spinning, and I would throw up. And after a day of that, I was getting really tired, and I was getting dehydrated. And he said, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" And I said, "Yes." And that was the worst car ride I've ever had in my life because
We thought you had an ear infection.
right, because of the nausea, and I couldn't really even look up. Like, if I tried to look up, I would get the vertigo, so I was just, like, tucked down in the corner, going over these roads, up and down, and it was terrible. And
Because we're in the mountains.
and I thought my husband would drop me at the door and then park the car, but he's
I
like,
want to
no.
leave her alone in the hands of strangers. Are you kidding me?
So he parks the car, and we walk into the hospital, so I have to hang on his shoulder.
We took a bucket with us so you could throw up while we were driving.
Right? I don't think I did end up throwing up, but I had to hold onto his shoulder and hide my head in his shoulder while we walked to the hospital so I wouldn't throw up. And then when I got in there, we told the people at the front desk, this is what's going on. They're like, go back to the place. The doctor comes in. He says, okay, now tell me again your symptoms. And we told him that story. And
he looked in your ears.
He said, I'm going to have you go do a CT scan, which I had no idea what that was, but apparently it's a very fast brain scan. And it took about 5 minutes, and then we're in there talking.
And while you're laying down, you're fine.
Right? And he comes walking in with this weird look on his face, and he goes, all right, now tell me how you're feeling again. And I told him, and he goes, well, you have a tumor the size of a golf ball behind your right ear, and we are going to send you to a specialist hospital.
He said, we're going to put you on a helicopter and fly you to this other state.
Right, to this other state, to this special hospital. And we're like, when? And he's like, right now. Like, it's coming. The helicopter will be here in like 5-10 minutes. And we were both kind of like, OODA loop, whoop, 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 what did you say? What's going on? What's happening? And they flew me to another state, to a specialty hospital, and I was operated on 2 days later.
There you go. That's the story.
So that's the story. Oh.
See you, Palmetto Paratrooper. Bless you.
Interesting way of delivering your diagnosis.
You think he was really scared when he walked in. He was nervous and scared.
Yeah.
Which made me think, well, doesn't matter what I thought.
Right. And I'm sitting there thinking, aside from the standing up and throwing up,
Cicero, you can go to our Shofar Mountain channel. It's a YouTube channel called Shofar Mountain. And on my YouTube channel, Viking Preparedness, you can search for a video, What I Believe.
And there's a video on my channel about the brain tumor. There's a couple of them. So if you want to hear the story or whatever, you can see me with this big bandage on my head. And
your cool turban.
They shaved half my hair.
They gave you the Lagertha haircut.
Right. The same time that Viking show was on, now I've got half my head shaved.
Yeah, it looked cool when it came out.
So, did you have the flu or an ear infection? You lost me somewhere. My son's story is very similar. I had a brain tumor behind my right ear. And it was actually really close to my brain stem, spinal cord, and it was affecting my coordination. 6-hour operation to get rid of it. Oh, and it cost, should I tell them or no?
How much do you think a 45-minute helicopter ride costs? Go ahead.
Across state lines.
Across state lines, a 45-minute helicopter ride. What do y'all think that costs? Thank you, brother, for the information. A bunch. Sergeant James says 12K. Lampkeeper says 15K.
Lone
Jim
Star
D
Living,
says 80K.
30.
Stormtrooper 25, 10, 40. It was 66, right?
$60,000.
$60,000 for a 45-minute helicopter ride.
Yep.
That IV they changed probably cost $30,000.
That's right. Each nurse was $20K a piece.
And then, so when we were waiting on her in the hospital, the kids and I, because we have morbid sense of humor, we started a pool on how much the whole thing, soup to nuts, was going to cost. you remember what that cost?
Oh yeah, I remember the
The
whole
whole
thing.
thing cost what?
$500,000.
And what did we pay?
$35.
Hallelujah. That's 20 years in the military right there.
Yeah, that's really good medical insurance, but we needed it. We needed it. I knew it was high. They have an air ambulance policies to help assist in the cost of helicopters. Right, and if your insurance would not cover that, then that would be worth it, because we didn't think we would need it, but our insurance covered that. Things like automobile
Hallelujah.
accidents and things like that, people get airlifted for serious injury, and you don't know when that's going to happen. So if you're doing anything like you're a wildland firefighter or a chainsaw or that kind of thing.
Well, even our nurse helper on the phone said sometimes I don't like to pay for helicopter rides, and if they don't, give me a call and I can help you out. But they paid it without blinking an eye. So hallelujah.
Right. I wasn't getting, a tummy tuck. That's a very serious thing going on.
20-minute chopper rides for
$45. That's the kind of chopper ride I paid for the first time,
right.
and it scared the snot out of me. My appendix cost me $24,000.
Wow.
Thankful you are fully healed, Sister K. Thank
Hallelujah.
you. Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't a cancerous tumor. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was
Yeah, we don't need the
different
details. Yeah, medical stuff costs. You know what I don't understand? Because we've had a lot of things over the years. We raised 3 kids, so we had trips to the emergency room, broken arm. You go in for a broken arm, emergency room, X-rays, cast, yada yada yada, and they give you a bill. The bill comes for like I don't know, $5,000 or something, and our insurance company's handling it. And then the insurance company, when they finally settle it, they send us the paperwork for that, and it's like they end up paying like $700 for it, and the hospital's good with it. And I'm like, huh. But if you didn't have insurance and you took your kid in there and they said whatever I said it was, $5,000 to fix their arm, and you said, tell you what, how about I give you $700? I think they'd put a lien on your house or something. That's not right. There should be one price in America.
Yep. Yep. Yep, Wes. Yeah. Not a good deal. All right. Somebody else said something like they rented 2 helicopters for $7,000 an hour.
Right. Or think about those people who go to Tejas and hunt pigs from a helicopter. That'd be fun.
It's probably different when it's, emergency
None
medical.
of your beeswax. I got a free helicopter ride into the Korengal Valley for free. Yeah.
Oh, sorry I had to go for a bit. Rick got sick on me. Is he okay, Bitty Boo?
No, over the bus.
Added up to about $2 million.
I remember him telling me this story.
Nobody cares about medical debt when you're buying a house or car. It's one price, but they jack it up per hospital. I'm in industry. Everybody thinks insurance is the bad guys. Hospitals are a racket. He's throwing his guts up. I'm sorry, Bitty Boo. That's no fun. What's better, AK or AR?
Why will he not let you go with him, Wes S?
What was that story about the hurt goat referring to your video today about the dogs?
Sister Kate's channel, search Goat Lab. Goat Lab. That's the name of the video.
2 helicopter flights, one to a heart hospital and one to a stroke hospital. Well, I mean, praise y'all that we even have that ability, though.
That's what I said. The reason we are living here and making a go of it here and not in Thailand, which we seriously considered moving to, is the ability for medical care. Y'all forbid something terrible happens, they could land a helicopter right out here in our garden. They could. That's probably not going to happen in third world country.
Because I may or may not have been a childhood enemy of his. Well, y'all got long memories. Mrs. Hermit Hill. Hello. Love to try a Black Hawk.
Blackhawks are old now.
What's the latest and greatest?
The rain is abating.
I
We
know
didn't
that.
have a look at that. PJ and Sister Kate working everybody up. Stormwatch 2020 or whatever we called the video. There's a big storm coming. And then what happened? Nothing. They just suckered us into watching their show, man.
Hey, that wasn't up to us. We were ready to sit out there at least till we got rained on, which we did before we came inside. I wouldn't be alive if not for our medical care. Survived cancer in 92. I'm glad
Hallelujah.
you did. I told Heart Hospital, this ride going to cost me $30,000, so you better at least take me on a Christmas light tour. So on the way, he pointed out the lights to her. And that's sweet. It's what got me here. Y'all heard about the... I don't know.
No. Don't even know what that is.
Do not know what that is, Miss Tony and Melissa.
I bought an FNFAL for $300 and something.
I think he might be making a joke.
Oh.
Medical system sucks. I tore my back out enormous. $225 to go to...
Man, I'm a firm believer in chiropractors for back stuff.
$1,500. Well, it's kind of like a racket, isn't it? Okay. Almost died of my first child from staph infection.
You guys want to hear another story about staph infection?
Of course you do.
We'll wait, see if we get any yeses. There's one. There's two. We need two more. There's three. Yes. Okay, so I was assigned as the escort officer for the general in command of U.S. SOCOM.
Yes. I remember this story.
And he's visiting us for a few days, and so I've got to pick him up in the morning and take him where he's got to go, and there's a lot of grand poobah stuff that goes on with that. And he was assigned, amongst other people, in addition to me, a driver. And she was a military police E6 staff sergeant.
Hi, Earl's daughter.
And so we would drive him around, and I had to make sure she was where she's supposed to be. She was squared away, never a problem. And one night, and so we'd been light chatting with each other, but not much. When the general's in the van with his people, you don't say anything. And he wanted to go eat dinner with another general, and so we drive him to this other general's house, and we're not invited to dinner, so we sit out in the van for like 3 hours in the dark in the street, and security went inside. And so we're just sitting there. I'm in the front seat talking to her, and we're just talking about whatever. She's married, I'm married, you know, it's all cool. And she tells me that she almost got kicked out of the Army, and she owed the Army like whatever the max they can take from an enlisted soldier. They took that from her, but they were considering a special case to take more money from her. And I said, why? And she said, well, I used to be fat, and she wasn't fat. And she went and had liposuction done in California, and she woke up 6 weeks later at Brooks Army Medical Center Burn Center. And the story is she went in, she came back home, it was like an in and out procedure, and told her husband she didn't feel well at lunchtime or something. He said, okay, I'll come back and check her. And when he came back, she was in a coma. And she said, I got flesh-eating staph infection, bacteria infection. I said, really? Was it that bad? And she kind of freaked me out because we're sitting about this close together, and she leans over, pulls her BDU shirt up with her t-shirt all the way up so I could see a whole lot of flesh there on her torso. Oh, it made my gut suck up. It was like, ugh. It was like somebody had poured acid all over her torso. It looked gross. And I was like, ugh. I was like, put that down. And, yeah, and so they had to do like skin grafts, and they took skin everywhere else off her body and put it on her. And she was in a coma for 6 weeks, almost died. That cost a lot of money. That was a staph infection. And that doctor ended up getting in trouble because it was like one of those kind of not certified clinic kind of things, and he had dirty tools.
Oh,
the
for the
little vacuum
liposuction.
cleaner he stuck in her wasn't clean.
Yeah,
So,
the liposuction thing. Well, the staph infection is also what bumblefoot is in chickens and ducks.
well, don't get that in any cuts. I don't want you to look like her.
I don't have it in the things. Mine was a different type of staff. Yep.
Yeah, she said the recovery was really painful. I mean, they're ripping strips off you and sewing it on, you know? Hey, Paula.
Hey, Paula.
How long have we been going? Can we tell? I'm feeling...
An hour and
I don't
30
want to bore
minutes.
the people. That's way too long. We should...
Susan Bryant just came in, though. Hi, Susan Bryant.
We don't even know her, but it's like we know her because we really wanted her husband to get back
Right,
safely.
and he got back
We
safely.
prayed for your husband to get back safely.
That's right,
So.
and so we're happy. Not approved by her unit command. Yes, probably not. What guns are good to have for end
See you, Grandma.
times? What guns are good to have for end
I
times?
just did a video on that on Show Farm on Patreon. You should sign up. It's $1. I literally just did that video today.
How many dogs in your story today?
We had no dogs in our story today, except when Suka was running around here looking a little afraid. Right?
I think he's asking about the one you put up on Patreon, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
And you will know us. Right on. Have to head to the shower.
See you, Mrs. Hermit Hill. We're not far behind you.
Yep. And there goes
And
Spaz,
Spaz
Mama.
Mama's out. Kyle Gallagher. That's a cool name, Kyle Gallagher.
It is good. Cool name. Yes. Yes.
You want
Guess
to say
what?
goodbye to the peeps?
Oh yeah, we're gonna say goodnight because I got up early and I worked hard all day.
She did get up early. I didn't even hear her get out of bed this morning. Little
Charlie
sneaky
Thomas,
woman.
practicing his script. Right. Sister Kate something.
Dogs after
The
your goats.
latecomers always make you feel like you owe them a few minutes, but violating stay on for 3.5 hours the other day. I couldn't do it, Wes. I could not do it. I just get tired.
All right, everyone's saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Saying
Good night. Good night.
Bless y'all.
you.
We'll see ya.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bless you. Yes.